Alrighty, we got Marvel Rivals is dominating, and it isn't even close from your boy Bellular News. Okay, let me see.
We've all heard it said that hero shooters are a declining, oversaturated genre, and we know that there's a sizable graveyard. We just saw Concord die, but of course,
I mean, yes and no. There is a large chunk of people that like FPS, but even within that chunk of people that like FPS, some of them like aiming, some of them like ability spamming. It's it's like another gatekeep of a gatekeep, and it's hard to like please everybody.
that's an assessment that does not gel with Marvel Rivals' absolutely gigantic success, because somehow in a year where everybody has been mocking publishers over hero shooters and generally just mocking a lot of live service titles,
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Rivals is absolutely thriving, and that is not an overstatement. It got 10 million players in its first 72 hours, and by now, it's actually hit 20 million.
Holy shit! 20 million people?
This is so much activity that Steam's backend even struggled, and for some developers, it broke. They were not able
We can't launch the Gloomwood hotfix because the new Marvel game is crashing Steamworks. What?
to access the Steam backend to update their stuff. And this was all timed with Marvel Rivals absolutely ramming Valve servers. And of course, their servers were getting rammed by both Tencent and NetEase because at the same time, Path of Exile 2
Oh yeah.
happened to be doing quite well. So much so that together, Steam actually hit a new concurrency record of 39.2 million users online.
At one time, holy shit, 40 million people playing games on the PC at once. Bravo, PC. Finally, you motherfuckers are showing up. But understandably, it's only because good games are showing up.
And at once, which is crazy. But that's not what's truly noteworthy to me. A free-to-play game exploding and then just falling to pieces, or people quickly running away, a flash in the pan, that is not a surprise. It's actually what we tend to expect. And on the internet, when people tell you something is shocking, it's often hyperbole. Here, no, this is a shocking chart.
Oh yeah.
This is the retention that we are seeing with Marvel Rivals, and this is genuinely impressive.
I mean, let me see. It's probably like, let me see. Let me see. Steam charts, Marvel Rivals. Oh yeah, almost 400K. Still 300K playing 39 minutes ago. Yeah, I mean it's popping. Like, but hey, it's only the first. What is it? Month. It's only the first month, dude. This is what it looks like for every game in the first month. How long can they sustain this? This 400K every day. All right, it's a shooting game. I don't know what they got planned in the pipeline as far as like competitive scene, as far as content. Who knows?
It has essentially maintained its launch peak for an entire fortnight. This is a vanishingly rare achievement. It is absolutely stunning. The daily lows for this game are resting at 180k. And, they're good. The highs are good and regular. And I kind of remember the...
Wait, let me see something. Marvel. So this is Marvel Rivals search games. What's Deadlock? Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. Come on. Deadlocked? The fuck? Oh, come on. Steam charts. Deadlock. Wait, is this supposed to be that the Valve game that blended? It's like Valve Smite, essentially, with like the lanes and the 5v5. Or was it 6v6? I don't remember. Okay, this is it. But this game isn't released yet officially. I think, isn't this in like alpha or beta or something? I don't know.
Words of our erstwhile Prime Minister Theresa May, strong and stable. It's rare for a new game to be that strong and stable, and if you're Blizzard, you're absolutely going to be feeling a sting. So much so, you'll definitely need to check out today's sponsor. Boot.dev, they're a long-time channel supporter, and they actually just got better. So what they do, right, is they teach you back-end development.
I mean, honestly, Blizzard just stung themselves from not making the changes. Like, the big thing I keep on hearing with Overwatch is, like, go back to 6v6. And they haven't done that. So don't be surprised when you don't do, like, what a lot of players want, that they just up and leave. All right? It's like surprise Pikachu phase.
Development using Python and Go. They're structured as a community RPG. They're made by fellow viewers of this channel, and what's really nice is their clean, fresh new UI. And it's so good because in the world of just modern, soulless designs, they're actually leaning into RPG. I love it. It's so nice and rich. And on top of that, they've got another awesome feature called Spellbook that they just shipped, and it is so cool. So as you're progressing through lessons, right, you unlock new Spellbook pages, and these are all like fully searchable. They're full of concept explainers, documentation, code examples, and you can bring it up with just the hit of a hotkey, and that's all unlocked in line with your progress, which is really powerful for learning. And that's really what I love about Boot. It's designed as an overall experience, not just a product. And when you're learning, I think that's just so important. Now, their learning pathway is substantial. You start from, of course, the basics, like your Python fundamentals, learning the likes of, say, Lua, then through to really cool example projects like a server client Pokedex, through to a whole module on finding a job in industry, like actual practical advice, and bonus deeper learning modules as well. It's really cool, made by two brothers. You can tell that the whole thing is made with so much heart, because big corporations just can't really do it like that.
Shit, I should probably do that.
25% off your first purchase. So I'd go for annual. That's how you save the most money. And of course, if it's not for you, they have a no questions asked 30-day refund. And of course, you can actually browse their materials and their demos for free. So what the hell's going on here? Marvel Rivals is a free-to-play just like Overwatch, but that's not really an even comparison because of price anchoring. Overwatch 1 was a paid game, and it was far less of a playable storefront than Overwatch 2 has ended up being, and that's what made Overwatch 2 sting. Of course,
Wait, was that the My Hero Academia, like,
game,
thing?
and it was far less of a playable storefront than Overwatch 2 has ended up being, and that's what made Overwatch 2.
What the fuck? It is. Is this in Overwatch? Or is this in Marvel? I think this is in Overwatch.
Sting, of course, contrasted with all of the cool stuff that we were shown at BlizzCon that, of course,
yeah,
ended up happening. With Rival.
Oh, yeah, and plus, everybody that played Overwatch was promised that PvE shit, and then they just came out and be like, nah, we ain't doing that shit no more. And then everybody was furious.
Well, it just has audience expectations being met. Everybody knows what to expect. I mean, for an extreme example, on this very channel, we caught a lot of flack for being harsh on the Delta Force microtransactions. To us, they were pretty damn bad microtransactions. That's why we criticized them pretty damn heavy in that.
I mean, what's a good microtransaction? Besides, like, I could easily make the argument of almost all microtransactions are bad, even DLCs, because DLCs even get made alongside of the main game. They just release it later.
Video, but clearly a lot of people didn't care at all, really. And I imagine it's because it was a free-to-play game, and it basically met their expectations. Here then, Rivals is made by NetEase Games. They're a group who absolutely know how to retain players based on the countless large-scale free-to-play live service titles that they run, many of which are, of course, are on mobile, and, well, they have many investments in so many other games as well. Now, brand-wise, this has got Marvel, but it's got a flavor of Marvel that, at least from my outsider's perspective, doesn't seem tarnished by MCU fatigue. I mean, looking at the game, they're clearly leaning into comic art in a way that's actually cool. Their designs shine. It is the opposite of Concord. Concord's a game.
Yeah, like, when people think of Wolverine, of Iron Man, they have an image in their head of what they're going to see and what they're going to expect. And Marvel Rivals is just like a stylized version of that. You know, they don't try to go for the realism. It's like stylized, cartoony, weird proportions, exaggerated proportions. All right, and that's fine.
game that did have a few banging bits of concept art, but my god, there are not even words to describe how badly that all translated into Sony Photoreal 3D. It just didn't work. But Marvel Rivals has another strength. It is not wholly original, and you may think that's me just absolutely launching it into an attack, but look, it is pretty similar to Overwatch, but that's not really the main point. One person who did try to make a point in this, though, was Mike Ybarra, our dearly departed Blizzard president, who is still out there hunting down some tasty high-growth opportunities.
Really?
He launched a rather infamous tweet. I'm just going to read it out for you.
What'd he say?
And, hey, you gotta get it here because he deleted the original. Quote, looks like Overwatch Marvel Rival ships tomorrow. I mean, even the character name, Widowmaker and Overwatch.
Okay, looks like Overwatch Marvels ships tomorrow, much like Light of Motrium, a clear copy of HZD, out of China. Okay, this game copy of this game is stupid because a lot of big, especially big AAA devs, and even to some degree some AA devs, and a lot of games just straight rip concepts from other games. How else are you supposed to get inspired? Like, we're nearing the point in video games where it's kind of like music. Everything has already been made, or like storytelling. Every story has already been told. It's really, really hard to come up with something 100% original without it mirroring something that has already been done in the past to show some sort of success or something like that. So the whole argument of this game copied this mechanic, and why is motherfucking this dude... you work at Blizzard. Blizzard is known for ripping shit from other games, polishing it up, copying it, and putting it into their game. That's what Blizzard does best. Okay, so number one, the whole this game copied that game, that's out. That's stupid. I mean, even the character name Widowmaker in Overwatch versus Black Widow in Marvel Rivals, LOL. NetEase, Tencent, all the same. What is he saying? Is like Widowmaker came first before Black Widow? No. Motherfucker, Widowmaker was probably ripped off of Black Widow in the comics. Are you retarded? This was a stupid tweet. He should have deleted this. Holy! NetEase, Tencent, all the same. Okay. So what are you saying here? That as a consumer, it's hard to distinguish between big companies when they all act the same way. They do things for the sake of money. No shit.
Overwatch versus Black Widow and Marvel Rivals, lol. NetEase, Tencent, all the same. Oh, Mike. Mike kind of had a point buried through the stupidity, but the tweet absolutely is just him literally saying that Black Widow, a character introduced in the year 1964, was a Widowmaker knockoff, which is not true.
Yeah. Overwatch is what? Well, let me see. Overwatch 1 release date 2016. Widowmaker came out in 64. What is that? Like 60, 70 years-ish apart? Are you kidding me?
You could maybe say his actual point, though, is the character kits. In a way, it makes the point he was trying to make.
Oh, and the Black Widow character has about the same kit as what do you call it? Widowmaker. She's got the little zip line and the sniping. This is just the OG character coming back and reclaiming her title that Widowmaker took in the first place. Don't be jealous because someone out Blizzarded you. Took your mechanics, polished them up, and just put them on their character. Stupid. I mean, if you're that jealous, why don't you go file a suit like Nintendo did for against Palworld whenever they decided to say that, oh, you can't throw balls at animals to capture them anymore. Are you kidding me? Oh, like only our sniper can have a zip line and a sniper. If you feel so strongly, go sue them. Shut up.
but it also shows why people are resonating with this game. Black Widow has got a rifle, it's got a scoped mode that does more damage, she's got a grappling hook. So yeah, she will totally appeal to Widowmaker mains. But take a look at gameplay footage they have added to the kit. You've got a knockback kick, you've got a melee baton plus
Hey, this dude actually got some decent aim.
Charged plasma round, and it does come together to actually play differently. Now, I get why Ybarra tweeted, but the gameplay here is different, especially with its close range.
Yeah. This, from my understanding, is 6v6. Overwatch 2 is 5v5. Completely different gameplay, buddy.
Third-person brawl element that's going on. And that's the point. Rivals does not just copy, generally speaking, it iterates. Now, there's always going to be genre crossover. Maybe I'm going to take a look
Of course,
and say,
it's FPS. FPS is the hardest genre to innovate on, all right? Because number one, aiming, period, is hard as fuck for most people on M&K because of how free and free form and how much precision you have to have in your hand to put the reticle on the head and click the head. Okay, that's really hard. All right, you have a bazillion other things to equal out the skill, such as aim assist. Okay, that exists for an entire chunk of people that like FPS. Okay, so it is so hard to innovate on something that is already hard. If you want innovation in FPS, like really hard, go play some roguelike game. They do great at innovating on FPS with the amount of shit you can do. Don't tell me that, like, oh, only hero shooters can innovate. Hey, get the hell out of here.
Paladins from high-res, but Marvel Rivals is different. Like Overwatch, it's got the split between tank, DPS, and support, and many of the 33 launch heroes do have direct crossovers, some that are absolutely leaned into. I mean, Black Widow probably doesn't need to be a sniper, and yeah, she'll definitely be like that to appeal to the Widowmaker mains. And some of them are inherent, like Hawkeye and Hanzo, who are both bow users, or Symmetra and Doctor Strange, who both use portals. But
oh, look, it's Hanzo.
the thing that matters is that Rivals gets to cook with almost 70 years of inspiration and a wealth of real-world player experience from other hero shooters, and that means what we've got is a slick game that is an iteration rather than a clone. That is the point that Ybarra's absolutely dunked on tweet missed, and I think it's why this is a game that is actually surprising and delightful.
Oh, wait, he got the sword. Is that supposed to... Wait, no, this is the main character. Or the same character.
People.
About to say, is that Genji?
Iterated and brought its formula forward. And in a way, it's done that against traditional wisdom that would say that hero shooter is on the downtrend, that there's MCU fatigue, and that...
Yeah, everybody says this genre of game is on the downtrend until a game of that same genre comes out and literally blows everyone away. You know, who was that one dude that said... Was it like someone at EA that said single players are dead until like Elden Ring came out? And then all of a sudden, oh, single players are fucking balling and shit. Some dude gonna come out and say hero shooters are dead, and then a good hero shooter comes out, and everyone popping off on it, and then all of a sudden, oh, hero shooters are not dead as you thought. People, I swear to God, dude.
The track record with hero games is actually pretty damn bad. When we think hero game, we're all just going to think of PlayStation Spider-Man, but that's because we've forgotten the massive graveyard of dead games, and even the Marvel graveyard, which will of course have Square Enix's Avengers in it. That was very much the lol cow of its year. But even good games that have got like big popular Marvel superheroes have failed to meet financial expectations. We've got two examples of this. One is Guardians of the Galaxy, and the other is Firaxis's Midnight Suns.
I don't know either of those games. I didn't hear dick about ass about either of those games.
And the thing is, those were both really good, well-reviewed games that just didn't sell. And then, of course, there's the now rather end-of-life Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
I heard about that game, but not in a positive way. I only heard about that game because it was so bad. Monumentally bad.
Before that, there's Gotham Knights. So it's not been a good time. By comparison, though, Marvel Rivals has got half of the internet standing Jeff the Bloody Landshark, who I didn't even know existed, and it turns out has only...
I'm not sure why people dislike Jeff the Landshark. I don't know what he does, but just from looking at this, he's probably really hard to hit because his movement is unreadable because he's a little ball. which ironically makes him really easy to hit because he's just a ball. How does this dude? How do you figure like a headshot from a body shot on this dude? The ratio of head to body is gotta be crazy. He's got so much head and so little body. Like, why? I guarantee. I'm gonna take a stab at it. Tell me if I'm wrong. If people are bitch mode complaining about Jeff the Landshark, they're bitching and complaining because he's too hard to hit. But the people that are good at aiming can hit him in the head and think he's really easy to kill because his head is so big. That's what I predict.
Existed since 2019. So this is not a case of put heroes in it that people know and suddenly everyone will start playing.
Yeah.
You know what they've done?
I didn't even know this was like a character. Jeff the Landshark? Who the fuck is this?
Is they've nailed the basics. They have carefully chosen some deep pools, they've chosen things that everybody knows, and they've executed it all to an extremely high standard. The mechanical diversity of this game, especially considering that it's only just launched, is absolutely insane. And that's a large part of why people will play it over Overwatch. One team can have, let's see, a teleporting ninja.
The mechanical diversity, there's a decent amount of mechanical diversity in Overwatch. I don't think people are playing this because of well, maybe you have things like flying and Spider-Man like zipping around and people dashing, all mechanics that are traditionally thought of as really hard to aim against because of the movement unreadability of the movement thing. So maybe partially, but I was really gonna say, people are probably playing this because it's 6v6 as opposed to 5v5, and also it probably is really responsive. It looks good. There's no real signs of like DEI woke shit in it. What else? And people have just been like itching to not play Overwatch. Like if people are playing Overwatch, it's because they're like zombie moded out over Overwatch or whatever, and they're just like waiting to jump ship into something else that can like compete against Overwatch. And Marvel Rivals seems like it's good enough.
Fight, multiple flight-based characters, web swingers, and where the web swinging actually feels good. If you've got Rocket and Groot, then you actually get an entirely new ability and game-wide mechanic on top of your existing set. And to quote from the game's director, the awesomely named Thaddeus Sasser, well, he basically said this: I don't know about you, but when I heard the concept of the game, I was like, oh my god, I want to be Storm in a game. I want to be Doctor Strange in a game. I want these heroes in the game. That sounds awesome. And of course, my mind immediately leapt to all the cool possibilities you could have with that. And
I mean, there's a ton of other games that you can, well, maybe not a ton, but like there are some other games where you could be these characters. Look at Marvel vs. Capcom. The Marvel vs. Capcom series. You could be Storm. You could be Doom. There's like a lot of there's a couple ARPGs, you know, like back in the day on Xbox 360 of like you could be all these like different superheroes and shit like that. So it's not like there are no other games where you could be Storm or Doom or Captain America. It's just, if anything, you can't be these characters in a game that has been released recently. You know, like that song, "What have you done for me lately?" Or is it lately or recently? What have you done for me lately? Yeah, it's like the song. Yeah, you did that stuff back a couple years ago. You released the game a couple years ago, and that was all right. But what have you done for me lately? All right, that's the vibe I'm getting.
That seems like a very trite thing. I mean, of course he's going to say it. He's the director for the game. And it's absolutely not a fair one-to-one comparison, but do you know what appears in my head? Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, where the first reaction from most people when they watched that E3 trailer was, oh, this looks like a generic third-person shooter. Why are we just doing shoot-bang with guns? This doesn't really feel like Heroes.
Yeah.
Which, obviously, broad market perception, what consumers thought, was not enough to get that game any cut through. But look, that's enough lavishing this game with praise. Let's get back to business, especially because there's a statistic that puts this whole thing in context. Matt Piscatella's got 2 decades of industry analysis experience. He's the executive director of Circana. They're a long-time analytics firm. They are not small. You actually may know one of the companies they just acquired.
Ooh.
Nielsen, as in Nielsen of television ratings fame. So they're
anything TV, I don't know. Television ratings, I think, are in the dumps. I don't know this. Okay, executive director and video games industry analyst at Circana, or maybe it's Kirkani. I don't know. Formerly of Activision and Warner Brothers Games, I helped to get one of your favorite games greenlit. Oh, okay. Well, Activision, Warner Bros, Yeah, there's a big name studios, but I don't know. I'd have to see. But okay, thanks.
They're a big fish with massive corporate clients. Literally, their stock in trade is actually having good analytics. And what's great is Matt shares.
Oh, so he's the analytics guy. Oh, let me see. Oh, does he know the analytics? Oh man, this is probably really cool. Marvel Rivals as a smash hit. Oh wait, sir. How do you say this? Circana, U.S. player engagement tracker, top 15 titles by total weekly U.S. players, not concurrent. December 7, 2024. Marvel Rivals is a smash hit. Debuted at #1 on Steam, 3rd on PS5, and placed 4th on XBS. Was that Xbox? What's the S stand for in Xbox? I haven't been entrenched in anything console in years. What the hell does the S stand for? Xbox something. Okay, PoE 2 launched at #3 on Steam. Delta Force finished the week at #5 on Steam. So, okay. Bro, I wonder if this guy can actually tell me my likes, interests, and hobbies based on some like random whatever like statistics that he knows about player bases and shit. I would love to have a conversation. That is so cool.
Loads of games data in public. This chart shows the percentage of weekly actives by game type.
Wait, for you graph heads, bro, for a second I thought this said for you gramp heads, like grandpa heads. Jesus, I'm getting old. This is how competitive reaching players is right now on an undisclosed console platform. Top 100 titles ranked by weekly percent of US active players engaging. Your game is at the top or it's in one hell of a fight. Source, the player engagement tracker, Circana. Let me see. Percent of active players on some console. Okay, it's a toss-up. It's a 50-50 between PlayStation and Xbox. Okay, he's obviously not talking about the Switch. I don't know, maybe he is. You know, Super Smash Ultimate is like pretty popular, but I really doubt it's the Switch. So it's a 50-50 between PlayStation and Xbox. I would have to guess PlayStation. In the US, more people have PlayStations than Xbox, so that's what I'm gonna guess. Percent of active players. So, oh boy. So let's say 4% of the active players are rank 1 through 4, which I would imagine is like the bulk of most players. And then obviously, as the higher rank you get in your favorite competitive game, the numbers dwindle off drastically, nearing almost zero. I'm sure that's like a math thing where it's like called where you almost touch the axis, but you never actually touch the axis. I forgot that's a thing, but yeah, whatever. I mean, but yeah, this is normal, I would imagine. I mean, there can only be one #1 headband, okay? Everybody can't be a champion in the game, in their favorite competitive game. So if I were to see anything else besides this, I would be worried.
title. And better than anything, this shows just how winner takes all this industry is, because we can see that the top 5 games hold 75% of audiences, like just by player numbers. And if you're an indie, in a way, that's okay, because you're fighting for the 25% of the audience, not the big 75%. You don't need that insane level of scale to be successful.
Yeah.
But if you are a major AAA live service, you need to make a dent in that 75%. You need to fight with those games that are taking so many people in an absolute winner-takes-all industry. And of course, it's failing to do that that leads to the likes of, say...
See, that's the nice thing about capitalism, is that the market decides what's good and bad. Like, you can come out with some product and you can market it however, but if your product is bad, people won't play it. That is like the good thing about capitalism.
X-Defiant going under the way that it did. Concord immediately dying because there was no real universe where it was going to get itself to where it needed to be. And it's in that context that Rivals is actually impressive, because in a winner-takes-all industry, it has managed to get cut through. And this is what their director had to say. It's pretty wise. There's a switching cost. I've already invested in Overwatch. I've got 15 skins for Pharah.
Oh my god, what an absolute loser take. Who the fuck thinks like this? Somebody that has so much FOMO and is just emotionally invested in the game. Oh my god, this is exactly what all of the live service games are trying to force you to think. They want you to get so invested in their game by buying skins, so that way by the time you have like 15 skins for Joe Schmo character, and a new game comes out and it's a competitor for this game, you find it really, really hard to jump ship because you got so many skins and you don't want to be a default skin Andy in the new game. Oh, boo-hoo.
I think the trick is you need to have that reason that people want to come and play your game, and I think Marvel Rivals does that exactly.
There's a switching cost. I've already invested in Overwatch. I've got 15 skins for Pharah, and I'm not going anywhere. Period. I think the trick is that you need to have that reason that people want to come and play your game. And I think Marvel Rivals does that exactly with the superhero.
Exactly with the superhero. And that's basically
switching cost. Motherfucker, you're playing a game. Everybody's wasting their time. All right? You're either like wasting your time playing a video game, or you are enjoying your time playing a video game. There is no cost playing a game. Everybody's doing the same thing.
The big point, nailing fantasy and using the comics as an excuse to go extremely hard on designs and to make those designs fundamentally appealing. That has worked. Look, I'm not trying to be cruel to Concord on purpose, but just look at the skin.
Nah, they did it to themselves.
Variants. Look at what they look like. And now look.
This looks like a clown show, dude. This is a damn circus. And it's not even a circus I would want to go to. This is like the weird circus. It's not like the cool circus.
The things that you
like this this is like baby's first time making a circus. Like the pop tent is like got all like tears and like patches in it. It's kind of goofy looking. And then here comes Marvel Rivals, and it's literally Cirque du Soleil. You can see a bunch of cool acrobatics, cool physical human feats of like whatever strength, flexibility, dynamicism, and all that shit. It's awesome. This is just like you get 5 minutes into the show and you're like, I think somebody just broke into my house. I gotta go, guys.
Can buy within this game. So, Mr. Herman Hulst of PlayStation, if you're confused about why Concord, which you reportedly were really bullish about, if you're kind of confused why it didn't really work out, this is a really good example. But even with all that good, there are two things to discuss. Number one, business model. It's coming under some critique, and for strange ways, because it does seem a little bit pretty thought out. But also that this game is actually walking a very similar path to Overwatch, and they are going to have to be careful and make sure that they do not step into all of the rakes that, of course, Blizzard stepped into, meaning that Blizzard hit.
I don't know. I apparently, how hard is it to not drink someone else's breast milk in the fridge? Apparently, it's really hard.
Themselves in the face. Monetization first, and I'd say that it's mixed, though fundamentally it does have something that Overwatch does not have in that it is a third-person game. Now, if you look at Counter-Strike, I mean, obviously it's
Oh, really? It is third person? Huh.
And knives because those are the most tangible and visible things. But with, say, League of Legends, which has now got hyper expensive skins that can cost hundreds of dollars, that's third person. You can see your character. It's almost as if regularly seeing the thing that you're expected to buy kinda matters. Rivals then has got the standard suite. It's got a battle pass, it's got cosmetic bundles, but where things get a little bit dementia-inducing is, of course, currencies is one of those.
Oh,
so all
boy.
those things I mentioned are purchased using units, and you can get units through battle pass progression, challenges, events, and something that NetEase knows very well indeed: promo codes. So you may not know this if you don't play them, but promo codes are a massive part of the gacha game world and culture. Basically, gacha game players are not stupid. They know that it is a crazy gambling hellscape, but the peace is kept because the gacha companies generally deliver a shitload of content, and they're often quite generous when it comes to things like promo codes, especially in major holidays and anniversaries. So their inclusion here is a smart leg up on the Western competition. It means if they just want to hit the engagement lever, they can do that. Now, what's odd then is the premium currency, which is called Lattice. It's $1 per 100. It's purchasable and discounted.
Okay, standard operating procedure as far as like the gold coins. Bro, what the fuck is this random word? Like, how? Let me see. Let me do a quickie experiment real quick. Currency synonyms. Money, legal tender, blah, 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 banknotes. I mean, a lot of these fashionableness, voguishness, what the fuck? Okay. I mean, what I was getting at is like, and then I quickly understood is like, oh, whenever someone comes up with like a new word for their currency, it is pretty much just a random noun that they pulled up out of the dictionary, is what it seems. Oh, look, I got 100 gibbly gobs. I got 100 diddly doos. I got 100 quang banglers or whatever. Like lettuce. Oh, you got 100 lettuce. Bro, there's a sale. I can get 100 lettuce. I get 10,000 lettuce.
Bundles, which all seems completely normal. But what's strange is it's used in only one way: converting all of your lattice into units at a 1-to-1 ratio, which does feel really quite overcomplicated. Then, of course,
oh my god. Oh, standard operating procedure of everything. Even pointless currency bullshit. Like, the more different currencies you have, the more different currencies you have, the only thing that stands to do, the function of it, is to remove your understanding of the dollar value that you put into the game. So you have like, if I got like 100 lettuce and it's like a gold hexagon, I go over here and I see, oh, it's 200 purple squares or whatever this is. I'm like, okay, I don't got 200 purple squares. I only got the yellow, what do you call it, octagons. So how do I get the purple squares or purple hexagons? Oh, I gotta convert them? Oh, shit. So the more they have the ability to like make one currency into many other currencies, the more your understanding of the value is just thrown out the window.
like Fortnite, there is a currency that you use within the battle pass to unlock things. Now, I have noticed pricing is raising some eyebrows. I mean, yes, things are extremely expensive in free-to-play games. You're basically looking at bundles costing $20 worth of units or $35 worth of units if it is an MCU thing. And of course, to explain the MCU thing, well, obviously, the mouse has got to get its cut. But there is one thing where I actually think we've seen good movement here. The Marvel Rivals Battle Passes do not expire, just like Halo and...
Oh, damn. Who would have thought? Finally, somebody that puts in battle passes that don't expire. Oh my god. That's actually possible. Oh my god. Finally. And you know what? Since this is the first company that is doing it, this is going to set a precedence and put pressure on all the other live service companies to do it. And they should have done it years ago.
Infinite, and just like Helldivers 2, this is...
You're going to tell me there's a fucking expiration date on some ones and zeros? Get the fuck out of here.
One of the things that I have been hammering on about for quite a while now in the industry. I think that expiring battle passes, say in Overwatch 2 and so many other games, are basically tantamount to FOMO exploiting pseudo theft.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea that you could buy one of these things and then it'll just go kaput, and that they actually weaponize FOMO to sell you progression through the thing that you already bought.
Yep.
Because whenever you buy a battle pass, yeah, you might intend to finish out the thing, but life can get in the way.
Yeah. Sometimes I got to go to school. Sometimes I got to go to my job. Sometimes I got to do my family thing. Sometimes I got to do my kid thing. Whatever the case is, sometimes my car breaks down. I have a thing in my house that's broke or whatever. My family needs me. My friends need me. Shit happens for most people to where they got to put a pause on the damn game.
If that happens in this video game, you're still going to have your battle pass. You will not have been screwed. Blizzard will happily screw you in all of their games with the way that they do their battle passes. So this is absolutely a good move, and I hope that a real major game that is doing numbers like this, implementing this type of battle pass, actually gets rewarded, because this is what needs to be the norm. So overall, it's mostly standard, a little bit of a mixed bag, but they have made a major piece of progress. The next thing to talk about then is the challenge of running a game like this, because already they are seeing cries and demands from players for the sorts of features that some people in Overwatch loved and others didn't. Launch Overwatch 1 was a blast. It was an often busted blast, and many of us experienced that with the classic event. Now, with top-down pressure to focus in the Overwatch League and an internal desire to actually make Overwatch 2 PvE instead, so that they could have a stepping stone to something that would approximate Project Titan, the failed MMO, it's safe to say that Overwatch struggled with direction just a little bit. That still is playing out today, where Overwatch has basically morphed into its PvP self, and if you had hopes for anything else, well man, that just sucks. Now Rivals is a bit like launch Overwatch. Some shit is completely busted, and it's a bloody good time that's thrilling players.
Yeah,
but
I mean, this is the same thing that happens with a lot of games when they come out on day one. The days where the game just comes out are the most fun, because nobody knows the meta, nobody can really figure out the mechanics, and this is where the actual creative part of the player gets to do stuff, trying to, put abilities together to do some silly shit. Like just today, I saw what do you call it? Like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. Doctor Strange put a portal on like some platform that's like, if somebody goes through the platform, they fall down. And then he puts another portal somewhere else. And that way Spider-Man can look through the portal, web sling, grab someone, and then they fall through the portal once they get ripped through it. I'm like, damn, that's hilarious.
Does mean they're seeing similar pressures. A lot of people want some form of role log. They will also want some form of role queue. How are they going to deal with this?
Yeah.
And I say that because we've typically seen live service shooters through a ranked progress first, esports focused lens, something I see a lot of pushback to in comments of our videos. So navigating that is going to be a challenge here.
Oh yeah, the whole competitive versus casual thing. Oh, this plagues every shooting game. Some people think FPSs are for casual, or not FPSs, shooters, it's third person. Some people think shooters are competitive. Other people think that they're not competitive. Ugh. God. Is this hilarious?
Especially because they have got such a broad audience. An audience that, in terms of its dynamics, I would say is far closer to the Overwatch 1 ginormous audience than the far smaller and I suppose more clearly competitive PvP-focused Overwatch 2 audience. Now, where Overwatch was torn between multiple directions, it's clear that things are going to be a little bit different here, because this game is launching the way that it was intended. It's got 3-month seasons, multiple maps and heroes a season. That's the way that the thing is set up. They also get to have obvious marketing around films, major comic things, games, but right now, its real strength is a distinct lack of a calcified ranked PvP focused culture, which is what's set in Overwatch 2, where
I wonder if actually putting in a ranked mode is a good thing for Marvel Rivals. And this just occurred to me like right now. And the analogy I'm going to use is maybe like NSFW, like not safe for work, but like, hear me out. Okay. There's like the social media, and on social media, you see like some really hot e-girls. They're like posting pictures of like, ooh, hey, ooh, hey. And they got all the cosplays and shit. And they've been doing that for a couple years. However, they have never had an OnlyFans. You're begging, pleading them, oh, please make it OnlyFans. Oh, I gotta see. Okay. There is so much anticipation building up that when the time comes, when or if they do make an OF, that all of a sudden, once they do it, let's say they do it, that all the mystery, mystique, and like wonderment of that like e-girl, it's all gone. Then what? Okay, next. That's what happens. You find another e-girl. I wonder if Marvel Rivals is trying to prolong putting an actual ranked mode in, because the longer they go without a ranked mode, it's, you know, everyone's like, it's a free-for-all. I don't know if there's like, what's it called? The skill-based matchmaking. I don't know if there's any SBMM in there or EOMM, whatever matchmaking system that these guys are using. There's probably something like that, but I wonder if when they come out with a ranked mode, that will be the death of the game. I'm not sure. Tell me if my analogy is like super stupid, or if I'm like kind of right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's just keep going.
Of course, lots of people within that culture don't agree with each other on what direction the game should go in. And what that essentially means to me is that in terms of gameplay, this is the inheritor to Overwatch 1's crown. Now, from a world-building perspective, it is not an inheritor to Overwatch 1, and that is the thing that's tragic about Overwatch 1. So many people fell in love with the world, only to be profoundly let down, where the Overwatch world has basically just turned into an excuse to have branded crossover events. We live in hell. But at least if you like that gameplay, you've now got a game that seems catered to you. And NetEase's challenge then is avoiding the mistakes of Blizzard. On balance, I actually think they will largely succeed in this one, but only time will tell. And if you want to check out another pretty hot bit of news, this video next.
Dang. Right now, Marvel Rivals is cooking with jet fuel. My God. What a game. What a day we live in. Blizzard has been losing long before Marvel Rivals existed, to be fair. This is the truest of true. Right here at 6.5k up thumbs. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was fucking funny. Okay. Yeah. Good video. Marvel Rivals killing it. Much deserved. But that was crazy. That was funny. Good video, dude. Keep coming. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Right, later.